Have you ever gotten your hopes up, I mean really up, only to get let down? I see this happen to buyers all the time, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a sec, as soon as we review the Georgina market stats. So like my other update videos, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the most current month, which is September 2021. Sorry for the typo. We're going to have a look at August 2021, and we're going to compare that with what happened in September 2020. You know what? That's bugging me. There we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about the numbers first. So the N stands for new listings coming to market. The S stands for sales that happened through the month. And the A is active listings. And active listings essentially are what didn't sell and carry over into the following month. So new listings coming to market in September 2020 was 183. Sales through the month was 135. And active listings are 146. Now, logical math would dictate sometimes that new listings minus the sales should equal the active listings. Doesn't always work out like that because through the month in the market, generally, there's a lot of cancellations and relists of properties and things like that. If we look at August, 98 new listings came to market, 90 of them sold, and 66 active listings carried over into September. And new listings in September, 128, so quite a lift in the inventory. 96 sales, so fairly consistent, and 90 active listings. So again, we're seeing a climb not only in the new listings, but also in the active listings. And in actual fact, what you're kind of seeing here is, the lift in the new listings is sort of showing up here. So the buying stayed fairly close. And this is something that we're seeing in a couple other adjacent towns as well. We're looking at the money. 704,000 was the average sale price across all home types. So that is inclusive of condos, semis, towns, links, detached, everything. $958,000 in August 2021. And in September 21, you get 916,000. Now, before you go crazy on me, your home did not devalue. So you have to take this number with a grain of salt. Bear in mind, as I said, it is an average sale price across all home types. So some months you have, more million plus homes selling. Other months you have more townhouses, semis, and condos selling, which is going to fluctuate this number. So again, I would look at this with a grain of salt. I wouldn't take it as, the gospel of what your particular house is doing. SNLR, known as the sales to new listings ratio, also known as the absorption rate, tells us that out of the homes coming on the market each month, what is the percentage of them that are actually selling? So a year ago, 73.8% of the homes that came on the market, again, across all home types in Georgina sold. 91.8% in August, currently trending at 75% of the homes that came on the market in September 2021 sold. MOI, also known as months of inventory remaining, tells us that if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate of buying, how long would it take to completely deplete the inventory? So a year ago, 1.1 months of inventory, 0.7 months of inventory in August, and it's climbed a little bit to 0.9%. So in talking about that, so what we're seeing is more listings coming to market. Sales are still fairly close, but the active listings grew. So of course, this is pulling down the absorption rate because the absorption rate is directly connected to how many homes actually sold. So if the buying trend stays the same and there's more listings coming out, this is going to drag down a bit, but it's also going to pull up the months of inventory remaining, which we can see in the numbers here. Sale price to list price ratio, just under asking at 99.9% a year ago, 104.1 in August 2021, currently trending at 109.0. So buyers, I would not freak out when you see that. Again, when we get into September, what's typical in September is the market can start off a little bit sluggish. And certainly notwithstanding this year, we had kids getting back to school, parents dealing with some of them getting back to the office finally after a long time working at home. So September did start off a little bit sluggish for sure. And what we were seeing out there is that there were a number of homes, and we've been seeing it throughout the year, but it seemed to be a little bit more pronounced through September in that we were seeing homes that were underpriced to their actual value of the market to cultivate and foster that over asking and multiple bidding process. So In most cases, when you see a house that's listed at 999 and let's say everything else in the neighborhood is sold at 1.2, we know that, that the trend right now is moving towards homes selling over asking price. So a lot of times when I start seeing the wild numbers like the 110%, 109%, it's generally showing that that homes were actually, really priced below what the market would bring to cultivate those again those buyers to get eyes on it. Because again, in September, a little slow month, you got a lot more new listings coming on the market, so people want that attention, right? Days on market to get a home sold, 19 in September, 20 in August, and in September 2021, currently trending at 18. And again, not shocking to see this number. It's come down a little bit, which would tell me that the buyers are pushing back towards the new listings. When we start seeing it climb, generally what that indicates is we're seeing buyers go back to the active listings, because it can take longer for buyers to circle back to that inventory that's been hanging around for 30 days and 60 days. And so when the days on market counter goes back down, typically what we're seeing is more buyer focus on the new listings coming to market. So to answer that question, so have you ever been, you ever really had your hopes up and get let down? And I see this all the time with buyers. As buyers are entering the market, and it doesn't seem to really matter whether it's first-time buyers or first-time sellers that already own a house and are looking to move up into their next home. The key that I see here is people that I'm out showing houses to that haven't been qualified or haven't even spoken to the bank at this point. Believe me, I'm all for let's go out and have a look at a couple houses and see if what you want for the price you want to spend is out there. But unless you know where your dart is on the dartboard, it's really tough to know where that is. So, I mean, for some people, they have a rough idea, here's what I make, here's what my current mortgage is, here's what I should be able to afford. But let me tell you, the information costs you nothing to gather, and it's so invaluable to you. And I can't tell you how important it is. I mean, if you were my brother or you were my sister, my suggestion to you would be you can never start that mortgage approval process, too early. I mean, even if you're a year out, I spoke to a client today that's a year out from buying, and I set them up with my mortgage broker only because even if you're a year out, talking to that mortgage broker, this is what we do. I mean, not that I do mortgages, but this is what we do in, day out. So by talking to a qualified mortgage person, they can help you come up with a plan. And maybe that plan gets you to where you want to be faster. For some people, I believe the thought process is if I start talking to somebody now, they're going to constantly hound me, they're going to constantly bug me, and they're going to pressure me. It's not like that at all. Real estate is a marathon, not a sprint. And whether it be myself as an agent or a real estate broker or mortgage professional from the bank, in my opinion, we are here as educators first and foremost. We are here to guide you and to help you make the best decision for yourself and for your family. So if that speaks to you and you have some questions about the market or about the information I shared here, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see you next month.